Alright guys, what is going on? Match reaction, PSG 3, Aston Villa 1. And, well, PSG, what a performance again by PSG. What a team they are. They are seriously unbelievable, this PSG team. It is so good. It is crazy. You know, you get rid of Kylian Mbappe and you turn to one of the best teams in Europe. Remarkable what, Luis Enrique has done with this PSG team, because they are one of the best teams in Europe, if not the best. You know, they're definitely up there, PSG. I mean, the football they play is incredible. And today, they absolutely battered Villa, I don't really think many people gave Villa a chance in this game. Tonight, I certainly didn't. And yeah, PSG kind of wiped the floor with them, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Villa really struggled, really struggled. Aston Villa in this game struggled to keep the ball. PSG, as soon as PSG lost the ball, they were just on Aston Villa like a rash. And, Villa have done very well to get to this stage of the Champions League. But when you come up against these elite teams, which you are going to come up against in the Champions League, obviously, because it's, the world's best club competition, you need to keep the ball a little bit better. And Villa really struggled with that tonight. I found it a bit of a strange move as well by Unai Emery starting Marcus Rashford. I mean, I could see the way Emery was thinking. The ball's over the top to Rashford. Maybe he was trying to do that, but it just wasn't. It just didn't work, because Villa, they just could barely keep the ball. Like, it was crazy. And yeah, PSG totally deserved the win. You can't really say they didn't. They absolutely battered Villa on the stats. And yeah, I mean, I suppose the annoying thing, if you are a Villa fan, if you're Unai Emery, if you're the Villa players, is that goal right at the end. I actually feel like, 2-1 would have been a good result for Aston Villa. Yes, you would have lost the game, but it would have been a good result, because then you go back to Villa Park next Tuesday, with a 1-goal deficit. And I think that is it's a doable turnaround. However, I think a 2-goal deficit, which is what it is now, I think has put this tie to bed. And that, lack of concentration at the end of the game, I think has really cost Villa in this tie. Listen, if it was 2-1 to PSG would still be the favourites, obviously, and probably would have gone through. But I feel like 3-1 is the killer blow. That goal at the end, I think, has killed Villa. And you saw Enrique's reaction at the end. When they scored, PSG. We'll talk about the goal in a minute. But you saw Enrique's reaction. He was jumping up and down, celebrating with his assistant coaches, because he knows how big of a goal that is. The margin from 3-1 to 2-1 is massive. You may not think it is, but it is. Like, scoring 1 goal and scoring 2 goals is a massive difference, especially in these Champions League knockout matches. And yeah, I think for that goal for PSG at the end has put this tie to bed, if I'm being brutally honest. Cannot see Villa coming back from that, to be honest. Villa next week gonna have to open up, gonna have to try and get the first goal. That means PSG gonna have space on the break, and with the pace PSG have, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Doué, and then off the bench you've got Barcola. With the pace they have in that team, I mean, I don't think Villa will get ripped to shreds next week. I think Villa will put in a performance next week, but I do think they will get exposed on the counter-attack a couple of times next week, Villa. I really do. But let's talk about the goals. So Aston Villa take a 1-0 lead, basically out of nowhere, in the 35th minute. Morgan Rogers with the goal. And, they win it back high up the pitch, Villa. They win it back high up the pitch. John McGinn wins the ball off Nuno Mendes. And then Villa, they're in a really good position. McGinn gets it, he switches out to Rashford. Tielemans has made the run off Rashford into the box. Rashford finds Yori Tielemans, and Tielemans just puts in a first time cross. And Morgan Rogers is open at the back post, no one near him. And he just sticks it into an empty net. Morgan Rogers couldn't really miss. And yeah, Villa take a shock 1-0 lead at the Parc des Princes. And Villa, they were doing well. They were doing really well in that first half, Aston Villa. They kept PSG quiet. PSG didn't really create many clear-cut chances, and they were doing really well. And they took a 1-0 lead from out of nowhere, and you're thinking, can Villa maybe hold on to this lead until half-time? The answer was no. 4 minutes later, Desiree Doué with a wonderful, wonderful goal. It's a corner to PSG. They play it short, and then they switch it all the way to the other side. So the corner's from the right-hand side. They work it to the left-hand side through passing. Comes to Doué, cuts inside of Morgan Rogers far too easily, I think. Listen, I know Morgan Rogers isn't a defender, but, you got to do a bit better than that. He lets Doué cut inside far so easily, and Doué whips it into the top right corner. To be fair, initially, I thought it was more in the top corner than it was. It's actually quite central. But I think the pace on the ball, the power of the shot by Doué, and then the dip, because it actually hit the bar as well, means Martinez just can't really do anything about it. He just stands there, really, Martinez. Wonderful finish, though, by Doué. What a player he is going to be, by the way, Desiree Doué. I actually thought he was 22 years old. He's 19. I didn't even realise he was 19. If you watch the watch-along, I checked out with you, and he was 19. I thought he was 22. What an idiot I am. He is going to be a future star, 100%. He's got it all. He's got the pace. He's got the trickery. He's got the finishing. He is such a joy to watch, Desiree Doué. And yeah, he's going to take the world by storm, I think, in the upcoming years. Keep an eye on him. So 1-1 at half time. Villa, worst possible start, really, to the second half. 4 minutes into the second half, Kvaratskhelia makes it 2-1 to PSG. And what a goal this is. If you thought Desiree Doué's goal was good, this one might be even better. So it's back to front. PSG back to front. They win it back. Then they break. I think it's João Neves. Or was it Vitinha? I can't remember which one it is. But they pass it to Fabian Ruiz. And I think this goal is made by Fabian Ruiz. It may sound crazy, but because the pass is actually behind Fabian Ruiz, and he's got to turn his body and whip the pass into Kvaratskhelia. And he does it brilliantly, Fabian Ruiz, because he's into the space for Kvaratskhelia in front of him, and he's able to run onto it. I don't even know if Fabian Ruiz did that pass, to be honest. I'm quite amazed how he did that, to be honest, because the ball was behind him, and it's what a pass by Ruiz. And then Kvaratskhelia gets onto it, running at Disasi. Disasi was a half-time substitution by Villa. Cash was booked, didn't want to risk it. You can see Emery's thinking there. But yeah, Disasi comes in, gets absolutely skinned by Kvaratskhelia, cuts inside, cuts back outside. Wonderful bit of skill. And he just blasts it into the near post past Emi Martinez. Absolutely no chance for Martinez. What a goal by Kvaratskhelia. It's individual brilliance to get the goal on the finish, but the pass by Ruiz, I think that pass won't get talked about. It won't, but it's an unbelievable pass. 2-1 to PSG, and yeah, they kind of battered Villa in the second half, to be honest. Villa really struggled in that second half. First half, I think Villa did all right, but the second half, they just got blown away, really. Couldn't really keep the ball. And then right at the end, the killer blow, in my opinion, this goal is in the 92nd minute, Nuno Mendes with the goal. Nuno Mendes, who actually made the mistake for Villa's goal, got an assist and a goal tonight. So he made up for that mistake, didn't he? Yeah, wonderful ball though, through by Dembele. Just a lack of concentration by Villa at the back. Nuno Mendes sends Martinez on the floor, cuts inside on him, and just sticks it into an empty net basically for 3-1 to 3-1 to PSG. Not 3-1 to Aston Villa, 3-1 to PSG. And, PSG, another brilliant performance. I do think the Champions League semi-final will be PSG against Arsenal. I honestly, I just can't see anybody really stopping PSG getting to the final, to be honest. I know Arsenal are good, but I think PSG are better than Arsenal. I really do. PSG are playing with some sort of confidence, and I was saying in the watch along, yes, PSG got very, very good players, but the amount of players they've got who are technically very, very good is crazy. I know every footballer's got to be technically good, but PSG have. Their team is just so good, man, and they just play so good. It's ridiculous, and are the Champions League favourites? Who knows? Who knows? But guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the match. It's just so good to be doing match reactions again, watch-alongs again, because that's been a while since I've done one. But yeah, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you later.